Hello everyone and welcome to the HMG Saturday Night Wreckage. I know I was supposed to say after the collision we sift through the wreckage, but I didn't, man. See, this is when we need Chris, but my co-host, the vet, you're the partner in crime these days on the wreckage, man, but Chris is still on assignment, man. Hopefully he's back by next week. But how was your new year, dude? And Happy New Year for 2024, and a Happy New Year to everybody else that's listening and viewing.
Well, it's a new year, and it's the same old vet with the same old internet. Let's hope I can make it through with as few incidents as possible. I can assure you that I've been working on it, and everything on my end that can be done has been done. So it's all up to the network now. But yeah, other than that, I'm doing well, Jimmy. Took a break last week for the holidays. So did Collision.
I didn't even realize that.
They had a pay-per-view instead. So
yeah.
And that's fine. I guess a lot of stuff happened on the pay-per-view, but whatever. I guess we'll address it as we go, if anything needed to be brought up, because a lot of stuff.
Well, I do want to point out one thing about the pay-per-view. Everyone in the chat poo-pooed me when I said that Kingston was going to win the tournament. Well, I got it right. He did win the tournament. I thought it was just obvious to me, dude.
Yeah, and I don't recall disagreeing with you. I don't think I did.
I wasn't saying you. I was saying the chat. Everybody was saying it's going to be Moxley and Danielson in the finals, and I'm like, nah, it's going to be all about Kingston. And you didn't disagree with me, as a matter of fact. But I just wanted to point that out. So one more for the good guys.
For Eddie. Good for Eddie. Like I felt fine as long as Moxley didn't get it. That's just fucking. We don't need him winning anything else around here. But good for Eddie.
Absolutely good for Eddie. And did you catch Wrestle Kingdom actually by any chance, Vet?
Caught it. Yeah, I just caught that 5 hours real quick. No problem. Yeah. I did. Wrestle Kingdom.
What'd you think, man? Did you like it, or was it too AEW-ish?
No, it's Wrestle Kingdom. It's pretty Wrestle Kingdom. I think they kind of one of the things about New Japan, like I always talk, positively about it, but it's not like they're perfect. It's just that they're one of the companies that's doing it the best. It's not, but even them doing it the best doesn't necessarily mean it's good all the time. And one of the positive points about New Japan is that like the matches are all pretty good, but one of the bad things is like that kind of means the matches are all more or less the same too. So it's kind of like, I liken it to sports, where like you watch football and like every game of football, you know what to expect. There's 4 quarters, teams are going to score. There's going to be a winner. Like you kind of know, or a draw. You know what football is if you've seen it. Same with baseball. You know what guys are going to walk up and hit a ball with a stick. You basically know what the drill is. It's the same thing for 9 innings, no matter what 2 teams are playing. So in New Japan is kind of like that. Like guys have matches. The matches go for a while. One guy wins. It's very much like sports in that way, where you just kind of, you tune in and you have your favorites, and if one of your favorites wins, you're like, oh, good. And if one of your favorites doesn't win, you're like, oh, darn. And that's kind of it. It's not as reliant on like soap opera made up drama like American wrestling is. It's more just like kind of like regular sports drama. Like if you like, you like. If you don't, you don't. So Wrestle Kingdom they had a decent card considering how bad the year was of 2023 in terms of the booking and everything. But it was what it was. What did you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I think that really sums it up. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, the matches that were big, like for example, Danielson, Okada, it lived up to it, I guess. I mean, it was going to be a sick match, and it was a sick match. Zack Sabre Jr. made me laugh though in the event. That's for sure. He's a character, man. And I just want to point out still that what's his name? Finley's son, David Finley, whatever his name is, he still sucks, bro. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what are they going to do with this guy?
The world needs a rebel, Jimmy. I don't know, man. I know nobody likes David Finley, but at least one thing we could say is that we're not supposed to. Like
Yeah, I
at least
guess.
that lines up with his character. So
Right.
like they
And
have this version of the Bullet Club with the war dogs and all that stuff. This is the most unlikable, uncool version, and that's the way it should be because they're supposed to be heels who aren't liked. So if that's what they're going for, then that's what they've got. Gabe Kidd, annoying as fuck. Um, fucking what's his name? Alex Coughlin, ridiculous. Maloney and Connors, like just douchebags. Like there's nothing likable about this version of the Bullet Club, and I think that's what they were always going for. But a lot of their members were just too cool and too likable and too interesting in the past. So now they finally got that version of the Bullet Club that are pure heels and nobody likes them and everybody's rooting against them. So that technically that's kind of a good thing.
yeah, I guess, man. But I don't know. I can't stand Sonata still. Uh,
What's wrong
look,
with
it
him?
is what it is.
What's wrong with him, dude? He is bad. Like Sonata is bad. Like
Uh,
I wasn't noticing it as much before because he was always in a supporting role, but like when you watch his matches like as a main eventer, like he's actually kind of bad.
it's shocking, dude. It's almost puzzling. I mean, like I said, and we've spoken about it before, but I just don't understand. Like he's got the look, he can wrestle. He's just so bland, bro. Like the second I don't know, man. He's just got no personality, bro. Like he really needs to do something about that. It's funny too, because they say the guys that have no personality on television tend to be full of personality in the back. So I wonder how, he comes across in the back, but I don't even see him being talkable. Like he just seems like a loner, goes in his own sort of corner and just does his own thing. Could be wrong, but that's what it feels like. And it comes across that way even as a wrestling character, dude. And it's sad.
Well, it's beyond just a personality. I'm talking about in the ring, he's bad. Like
You think so?
he
Like
like
actually in the
I
ring?
know Naito is old and he can't his
Yeah,
knees are
his
shot and he
legs,
can't
right.
quite do some of the things that he used to. And he was always like a little bit bad anyways. But like when you get those two in the ring, like that main event was full of miscues and just like, and their reactions to the miscues were even there was one point where they just stared at each other after something got fucked up. They just stared at each other like neither one of them knew what to do, and that would never happen with somebody that's like so. Just for an example, like an Okada, right? Like that, he would cover up anything that happened. Like if he was in the ring with one of those two guys, if they fuck something up, which it would be them, he wouldn't fuck it up. So
Yeah.
if every time they fucked up something, he would cover it as best he could. But when they're in the match together, neither one of them can cover it. So it just got really awkward. But it didn't matter because Naito was so over that they were just wanting him to win. So they didn't care how bad the match was. This happened before, like the worst, I think I want to say the worst New Japan main event match I'd ever seen since I've been watching it was also with Sonata in it. It was him versus Ibushi, whenever that was. And I was like, these two guys are fucking terrible. And I knew they both were terrible. And they get carried by the other guys that they're in the match with. But like, yeah, I don't know what was up with the Sonata experiment. I don't know why I maybe they were just trying it out. Like, let's just see if he can be the guy. But they took away everything that made him somewhat interesting, like his gimmick, and they just turned him into like a bland main eventer. And then they barely used him at all. Like he was like, is this guy really the champion? He's barely on any matches. He doesn't have any title defense, whatever. Like we could do a whole show on this. But the point is, I think ultimately, if you look at Wrestle Kingdom, it turned out well. I think for the fans, there was a lot of people there. They were very loud and boisterous. It was an exciting show. So I'll give them a thumbs up.
Yeah, look, it was good enough. And I still enjoyed it though. But yeah, as far as Sonata goes, he hasn't been cool since he was part of Los Ingobernables de Japan. And even then he was bland, but he was much better. I actually didn't mind him in that role.
He looked cool. He had
He did.
the tall
The
mohawk and the skull
Yeah.
masks and the, like he had a character that was working for him. And then they wanted him to be sort of like, like an everyman, I think, to be the champion. Like he had to change everything about him and be more like a, just like a regular guy, like an Inoki or what's it, that Fujinami or some, it's just some guy in
Yeah.
trunks and boots, you know, like I don't know if you need to be that just to be the guy, but he won't be the guy for long, and I don't think he'll be the guy again.
Let's hope
Um,
you're right, Vet.
Aaron Ben Shlomo says, "What was your reaction when the obvious happened and Adam Cole was announced as the devil?"
I was going
No
to ask you
reaction. No reaction. Uh, it's fine. It's a fine
that.
choice.
Is it really though, Vet? And it's a good segue actually, because I did want to sort of touch on that. Is it really the right way to go? I know it was the most obvious thing, and I got that wrong. I was hoping it was MJF. I guess it's not. It's Adam Cole, but big. Uh, look, man, like I don't want to see Adam Cole win the championship. You know what I mean? Heck, they didn't even screw MJF per se. It was Samoa Joe pretty much won that match,
Right.
fair and square. You know what I mean? Which is even more weird. Like they didn't even do that. I mean, anyway, but what do you think of that finish? And where do we go moving forward? Because even now it feels flat already, bro. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
The finish of the match kind of came out of nowhere, I felt. Cuz I kind of wasn't they kind of lost me and
Right.
I just stopped being interested in the match, um but it felt like it came out of nowhere. And I think that's how they designed it, but if they didn't design it that way, then it's probably like they just went home early for some reason, but
Hmm.
I don't know. The that finish was weird. Maybe it was meant to be shocking. I'm not really sure, um
Wow.
but then the Adam Cole thing was like, yeah, I guess it's fine. I don't look. I don't care. Let's get that out there. Like whoever the devil was going to be, do you honestly think I personally give a shit about this? I don't care about these fucking soap opera storylines. They're stupid and they're not believable. So whatever they do, it's not like I'm gonna, give them a chef's kiss or something if they pull off a no. There was no way they could have actually done something that interesting. And so Adam Cole is as good a choice as any. I don't mind. I don't care. Let them do it. Whatever they want to do. I don't know.
Okay, that leads me now to Wardlow. I mean, this is even more silly to me. He stands out like a sore thumb. Why is
Mhm.
Wardlow in this frigging group? Why? Because he hates fucking MJF? I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I mean, that's so lazy, this type of booking. I mean, I knew Wardlow was going to be part of this one way or the other. I was just thinking it was going to be MJF all over again. But this, to me, makes Wardlow second rate because Cole is the one that's going to be gunning for the world championship. So Wardlow, what?
Well, to me, it seems like they're gonna do the exact MJF Wardlow storyline again. Where like Wardlow's doing Adam Cole's bidding, and he's supposed to win the title for Adam Cole and then hand it
So
over,
dumb.
and then by that time they think, what do they think? They think they're gonna make Wardlow a babyface again and have the crowd cheer for him to not give Adam Cole the title. Like, uh, I think that's probably what they think they're gonna do. But like I said, it's doesn't really matter. I'm not that interested in this. This is not on my
Well,
menu. This is not on my a la carte menu, is what I'm trying to say.
right. And to be fair, I mean, that whole show, The World's End, whatever the hell it was called, there was pretty much, it was a three-match show, and that was it, in my opinion. Everything, I mean, when it first started, all the way to
I
probably,
didn't
was
get
it
one
the,
of my matches.
which one
Like
was that?
I wanted the Keith Lee match, and they had
Oh,
he
yeah.
got pulled.
Right.
So
Right. It's true. And see, that too, that's another great segue. I mean, what if they knew this already? And I'm assuming they would have known, surely, right? Why did they book all this shit in the first place? Like, what was up with that?
well, according to what they said, uh, Keith Lee had an injury that he's been working through for a while, and that's why he hadn't been used on TV. Like to a greater degree, and he was trying to work through it in limited capacities. He had a match. He had a full match with what's his name, Shane Taylor, on the Ring of Honor show, but maybe something happened in that match that re-aggravated his existing injury or something, and then he thought he could work through it, and they said no. I don't know what the deal is. Who knows? It's shady. Everything's shady over there. You can't trust what you're being told. So, um, but yeah, it was unfortunate that they weren't able to. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered even if they were able to sort of tell you, hey, do something on TV and say that Dustin Rhodes was going to take his place, and nobody was going to get excited for it. So I guess the way they did it was fine. They just announced it on the day, because that would have just gave more time for people to be disappointed, I guess.
Yeah, and someone said in the chat, who was it? They should have had Hangman Adam Page in the match instead of Rhodes. And I actually agree. I mean, why didn't they at least do that? But they didn't. They threw in Rhodes. Cool, I guess. And as far as Keith Lee goes, man, I hate to say this, but he's looking way more out of shape, more so than ever to me, man. And I'm worried for his health, dude. Straight up. Like, just looks...
It's probably, if he has an existing injury, it's probably because of that. Like, if he's not able to train properly because of something that he's working through, but he's not telling us what that is, so he just leaves us to speculate. But I mean, I can understand if you're trying to just not take time off for an injury and you can't train properly, then that could have been something. But I'm gonna give Keith Lee the benefit of the doubt because he's on my a la carte menu. I'm not gonna, I just want to give him a big hug and tell him everything's gonna be okay. We'll be ready to bask in your glory when you return.
All right, big man. You want to give me a pat on the back while
you're very huggable right now, you know?
Yeah, that's an understatement. Come on. He's very huggable. But no, legitimately, I am legitimately worried for his health, and he just doesn't seem interested anymore. Or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm reading way too much into it, but he just looks like he's going, with the flow, and I don't blame him. And speaking of that, Andrade gets his wish, and he's granted his release. And I'm pretty sure he had a couple more years on his contract to go. But TK gave him his release anyway, and I guess he got his wish.
Since when do people know when everybody's contract is up? Have you noticed that in the past couple of years since AEW's been around, everybody knows when everybody's contract is up? And I say
allegedly.
Knows in quotes. Like,
yeah, more like knows, if you know what I mean, Vet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, though, you're right. I'm just going by what the dirty sheets are saying, man. You know what I mean? I don't know if his contract was coming up in a couple of years or not, but according to the dirt sheets, he did have more time. But if they grant,
according to the dirt sheets, he was going to be on Raw as a former champion, and according to the dirt sheets,
NXT.
CM Punk was never coming back to WWE, and talks are broken down. And so, also according to the dirt sheets, Mercedes Moné is far apart in money with WWE, so that means she'll be in the Rumble, guys. Just letting you know, that's how these things work.
She will be in the Rumble, actually.
Yeah, the sheets don't know any fucking thing, especially the length of people's contracts and shit like that. So, yeah, but apparently 100%. Andrade's out, and I'm sure he will be back, and I'm sure he will be in the Rumble. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, though, because the WWE's stacking up, talent, and
yeah, they are.
There's just hardly any room for anybody, like
there isn't. You're right.
I'm not saying Andrade is not worthy of a top spot, but I'm just saying there's so many top spots. There's not enough time on the television or spots on the card. So everybody's has to kind of get in line to a certain extent, Oh,
100%. And I guess Andrade Cien Almas is what we're going to call him once again. And anyway, look, he'll be back at the Rumble. Sasha Moné, whatever, Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her, the boss, she'll be back at the Royal Rumble. Mark my words, and I'm sure mark your words also, Vet. She'll definitely be back. I have no ifs or buts about it. I just don't understand how people are going one way and the other every day. Oh, she's signing with AEW. Oh, no, she's not signing with AEW. She's going with WWE. And then the next day back to AEW and blah, 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 blah. And I'm hearing rumors it's all because of licensing, and she wants her own licensing agreements with her name and whatnot. So, and WWE, of course, they can't do it in like 2 seconds. It takes time. So it makes sense to delay shit a little bit further, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think, Well, I know why people are going back and forth like you're saying. It's just because they want engagement on their own profiles and their own social media presences. That's what they want. If someone comes out and says, "Hey, I know this about this person," you can just completely make that up out of thin air and not have one shred of evidence to back up your story, but you just say it, and then people will start arguing with you, and people will like, they engage with your profile, and that's the reason you do it. And if you end up being right, which you have a 50-50 shot of, you could say, "See, I called it." And then if you're wrong, then no one cares. They've already moved on anyway. So
Yeah.
There's really no point in not doing it. You just stir up a little controversy online and try to get your name out there. But yeah, it's pretty bizarre. I'm just looking at the fact of, you look at who's coming back, right? And who's been re-signed and everything, and you kind of look at, oh, were they available or were they in talks back when Vince McMahon was still somewhat in charge? And now that we're not hearing about him being in charge anymore, now people are coming back. Like, he was the thing that was in the way of people coming back. So you can see if somebody like a CM Punk shows up all of a sudden, that Vince was in the way of that. Now he's out of the way. Other people are probably, Sasha walked out because of Vince and Ace and those guys. Now they're gone. She's making sure that the road is clear, because I don't want to come back and sign something if I have to deal with this motherfucker anymore. And if he's gone, then I'll come back. And that's what it is. And the whole reason she was going to sign with AEW, Stardom, whatever, is because she was just biding her time. And it's also something she wanted to do. So it's a bucket list item. Check off some bucket list items. And then I can come back when the time is right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's like the head rat says, don't worry, Khan will book a tag team tournament soon just to get more people on TV. 100%. It's just not an if, it's when. But Jose Luis Rivera says Sasha Monet is hard to kill for TNA. I don't know about that, man.
Maybe a one night shot.
Maybe
come in for one night.
Why not?
Why not?
And speaking of TNA, have they actually rebranded yet, Vet? Is it official?
Nothing is official until Hard to Kill on the 13th.
Oh yes, that's right. God damn, it's been 3 months already, dude. Come on. I mean, seriously. Anyway, there was one more thing I wanted to touch on before we got into Collision. Oh yeah, about MJF and stupid Tony Khan taking him off the roster. I mean, doesn't this not give WWE more attention by doing this?
Why? Explain.
Because of the whole, he's supposed to be out of contract. The whole, what was it, the 2024 deal? What does he call it again? What's his catchphrase about it?
The bidding war of 2024?
That's it. The bidding war of 2024. I personally think he's already re-signed with AEW. There's no question about it. It just feels that way. It doesn't feel like he's about to leave or anything like that. But I just don't like this whole thing. And do you think it's a good idea to get MJF off television right now? And if so, I mean, how long do you keep him out for?
Is it a good idea? No. Is it a depending on what they want to do, is it a good if he's legitimately hurt and needs to have this addressed, then obviously he should. And again, that's what we're being told, that he's been legitimately injured and he's working through some stuff. Supposedly he's been hurt ever since he took that suplex off the top rope from Jay White and landed on his shoulder. Right. And he's probably maybe hurt a little bit even before that. But, I mean, if that's the case, then yeah, you got to let him address those issues, and you can build up, your story around that for when he comes back. So taking him off the roster page is weird, because I don't think that would prove that like, why would you, if you're Tony Khan and this is a legitimate company, why would you take him off the roster page just because he got beat up by some thugs? That's what
I'm trying to figure it out, dude.
Yeah, like every injured person just goes off the roster page. I don't think so. Do they do that? Do they do that in the NFL? Like when somebody's on the injured reserve, do they take them off the? Do they take them off the team
Yeah, off
page or
the
whatever?
roster.
Second of all, if anybody in this chat right now, I want you guys to put the raise hand emoji if you've ever been to AEW and looked at their fucking roster page. And if we get one hand that's not a troll in the chat and you legitimately been to their website to look at their roster page, I'll apologize. But I think my point is nobody fucking does that. No one cares, right? So it's pointless. Now, here's why you would build up a thing with the WWE, which is, I think is what you're asking. Like, does it bring more attention to the WWE by doing this whole bidding war gimmick, right?
Right.
If you make it sound like he wants to leave and go to WWE,
Which they will.
and then you re-sign him, that means that's a victory for you. So that's why you make it seem like he wants to leave, and then it's like, look, I outbid the WWE. That's what you're doing. You don't even need them to be a part of it. They may have no interest in it. Like, just say I know they do have interest. There's nobody in their right mind wouldn't have some interest in MJF, but
No,
we already
absolutely.
talked about the roster being so stacked over there. It's hard to fit, it's hard to fit people in, keep fitting people in. But they don't even have to be a part of this. All they have to do is exist over there. And you run your own angle without them and say, hey, we're in a bidding war right now for WWE's MJF services. And then if you re-sign MJF and he ends up in your company, it's like, hey, we beat the WWE, right? Like, that's why you do it. I mean, whatever. It's one way to do it, I guess. But I don't really find a problem with that. I'm not saying I would or wouldn't do it, but I'm just trying to explain the psychology of why a promoter would do something like that to the fans. Like, if you would use the WWE to raise your own stock. If you can outdo them in anything, that makes you look better. So you act like he's in a bidding war, and then you're basically saying we have more money than the WWE. So, petty though it may sound, people do this kind of shit all the time. It's not something that the WWE would be above doing too.
No doubt about it. Aaron Ben Shlomo in the chat says, Jimmy, no offense, but do you really think TK thinks that long? I am sorry, but as far as he was short-sighted on everything. I know that. I always say that. Absolutely, Aaron. I'm just trying to think logic here, right? Even though that's the worst thing to do with a company like AEW. And did you see that clown? The way he was dressed at the media scrum? Now, what the hell was he wearing? And then talking about, and let's get into this actually, last but not least. The whole, Jericho deal and the, what's her name? God, how did I forget her name already, man? It was already there. Now I forgot. But anyway, the point is the Bailey wannabe chick. What's her name again?
Kylie Ray?
Kylie Ray, that's it. It's no secret. I've heard this over the years, like that Jericho's in an open relationship, man. And it's not like he's actually cheating on his wife. Apparently, it's all good, according to them. But do you think this whole thing really did go down? And if it did, is she right to say what she said? I mean, to me, I feel like she, from what I hear or try to gather, they both got together and she regretted it basically, and here we are right now.
What are you asking?
Oh, you didn't hear me, Vet, at all?
No, I heard you. I don't. What was the question? Like, I don't really understand.
Well, I'm asking, like, did this shit really go down? Is Kylie Ray sort of over exaggerating with Jericho? Is Jericho essentially a rapist, or is this all blown out of proportion?
I don't know. And neither does anybody else except them two. So
Right.
So again, it's irrelevant to me. But I do like how everybody just has their, opinions on it, even though they have zero credibility or knowledge, but they have certain opinions on it. So I do enjoy that. That's one of my favorite things in the world.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm one of them because, I tend to point out about her mental stuff and all that. And that's not fair on her, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
Well, that
I
can
don't
also
know,
make
man.
you a target. If you have a history of mental health issues, why not
Right.
take advantage of that? Who knows? Who
That's
knows,
true, but
man? Nobody knows.
it's yeah. And Jose wants to know. I'm on the roster list. Is Taya Valkyrie still there? Good question. I assume she is,
She
but
was on
she
yeah,
wasn't
when
on
did she
Collision.
show up? She was on a Ring of Honor backstage thing recently with Johnny TV, so she's there.
Oh, they actually put them together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I didn't see it though, unfortunately. But yeah, too much AEW for my liking, in my opinion. But anyway, I mean, there was a couple other news tidbits, but no big deal. Basically, Riddle signed with MLW. Apparently, he's gonna wrestle Tanahashi. It seems somewhere down the line. I mean, is this his road to redemption now, Vet? Because I feel like once he has these couple of runs, I can see WWE bringing him right back in.
Again, do you need a Matt Riddle now when you got so much, talent?
You
Like,
don't,
where
but
does
I
he
can.
fit?
It's true.
And
It's
he's
a good
already
point.
he's already shown that I don't want to use the word liability, but it seems like he could potentially be more trouble than he's worth.
Hmm.
Like yeah, he's got his fans, and yeah, he's entertaining, but um do they really need him versus any other sort of press that they might not want to pop up here and there? Like, I thought the airport incident was blown out of proportion, but
Definitely.
it's still better to not have stuff like that happen, right? Like, nobody wants that. So
Right, right.
yeah, I don't know. And if he wants to keep impregnating adult film stars, that's only going to make his life a little more chaotic. So, that's perfect for MLW. Maybe you could just go let him sign one of those Court Bauer lifetime contracts that he'll never get out of. Let's
Yeesh.
do that, and then Court can deal with him, and Tanahashi could have a match with him, and it'll be great. Did you see Tanahashi pull the I don't know who this guy is at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
press conference?
yeah.
Fucking nice.
That's
So
a zinger and a half, dude. I couldn't believe you actually did that, bro.
fucking
No pun
Tanahashi's
intended.
over, bro.
He's
President
looking good,
Tanahashi. We
actually.
have to call him that. We got to keep calling him that now. We can't
True.
just
He's the prez.
disrespect him. We got to call him President Tanahashi.
Just like Zack Sabre
President
Jr.
Television / never 6-man champion Tanahashi.
Yeah, he's got 2 belts. He did beat Zack Sabre Jr. Didn't Zack Sabre Jr. say he wants to become the prime minister since he's the president, as in Tanahashi?
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
funny shit, man. That is absolute gold. But yeah, you know what? Tanahashi looks kind of rejuvenated in a sense, dude. I don't know if it's the president sort of role or he just seems happy and in the mood.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see him. He's been beat up though, and he's not getting any younger.
But that's true too.
Also in that match with Zack Sabre was actually a 2-on-1 handicap match. It was Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. and his own tights because they kept falling out and exposing his ass. So he had to wrestle 2 guys that night, and he still ended up winning. So that's the president for you,
Dude, he's been fighting with his tights probably for the last 2 years at this point, dude. Like seriously, yeah. I mean,
it's hard because
smaller.
his knees are bad, so he can't
Right.
do heavy squats, so he can't build up an ass to hold his tights up. So he's got no ass, and his tights keep falling down.
Oh man, that's
it's just a vicious cycle for poor President Tanahashi. But that's all right. He's a president, though. You don't need an ass if you're president.
No.
We'll leave that to one of our matches later on here on Collision here.
I'm sure we'll find a lot of ass. Actually, speaking of ass, and this is the last thing because it just reminded me. What's this thing I've been seeing on social media about all the women wrestlers? I don't know if you've noticed this or not. I just saw it earlier today, that I'm not recognized unless I'm not wearing pants. Basically, like for example, Dark Sky was in the video too, and one of her quotes is, "No one recognizes me, sorry, unless I'm not wearing pants." For example, her ass is what's famous, right? Mm-hmm. So, what the hell, man? Or for example, Soraya's in it, Tony Storm's in it. Like everyone, it's like this, I don't know, like it feels like chick power type of thing, and basically all the women are pushing, like all the fans basically and saying, don't look at us like a sex symbol. You know, look at
Mhm.
us for, I'm just a human being, basically. And that's cool and all. I like the message. My issue is when you dress the way you do, how else are you going to get looked at?
Mm.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can't have it both ways, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you make your own gear, so, or I mean, you have
Yeah.
it made. You tell them what you want. So if you do it thinking that someone expects you to look like that, that's on you. I mean, if you want to make long tights, make long tights. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Cover up. That's
Yeah,
fine
people
too.
look. People always trust. Look, if you're a male human being who's attracted to female human beings, and you lived on
Yeah.
Earth for any length of time, it doesn't matter what the attractive female is wearing. You will be attracted to her. She could wear a potato sack. Sable wore a potato sack. Like,
She did, actually.
I'm sorry, like, you know, the clothes don't make the attraction, you know? So
Oh,
I'm
man.
not fully, guys don't need an excuse is basically what I'm saying.
You hit the nail on
And
the
you
head
all
with
you all
Sable
know
there.
I'm right. So
Yeah, 100% you're right. I mean, Sable did wear a potato sack and she looked good wearing one. I'm just saying. I mean, geez.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
why it was a sack.
unless you're wearing like a full body like, you know, sauna suit and a paper bag over your head, and so I can't see what you look like. You know, I can make up my mind whether I'm attracted to you based on lots of things. You know, it might not even be just your face, but you know, that's one of the first things people see when they look at a person is the face. And
Yeah.
then you got the personality. Like, I don't know. You know, there's lots of ways that people can be attracted. It doesn't just come down to, you know, your lower half clothing. So, but
Right.
you know,
Zane though with the comment of the night so far saying, "Let's get that fetish demographic." Jesus.
yeah, some of them do. You know, hey, some are into that Abaddon. You know, so
Oh, yeah, that's a bad one. And Frank's
it's over for some.
pickle, Eesh. And Frank's pickle barrel's ass says Hogan's thermos was over in the yellow undies.
I don't really remember seeing a thermos back in the 80s.
Oh,
Kind of looked
shit.
more like a, you know, what is it?
Oh,
A
man.
thimble.
That's funny, man. And the professor Chabella Veta Cruz also in the chat saying, "Why is Tony Khan obsessed with the word undisputed?"
Hey, Professor.
Yeah.
I thought it was Adam Cole that's obsessed with the word.
Yeah, I would have thought that too. I mean, and how dumb is that name too? Undisputed Kingdom, really? Anyway,
Was there another kingdom that was trying to be a kingdom?
yeah. I hate that name because are they the kingdom or they're friggin' Undisputed Era? They're both, I guess. Anyway, Vet, enough of all that shit though. I guess we can sift through the wreckage now because there is a lot of
Sifting time?
wreckage to sift. Yeah, it's sifting time. I like that. It's sifting time.
Yeah, it's okay. It's sifting time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dude, we're going to have to start sifting right off the bat because interestingly enough, we get Ric Flair's music. So like, okay, Charlotte, Ric Flair. And we get Sting and Darby come out. It's like, all right. But then I kind of see the camera pan over to the ring and I see the workhorseman inside it. So I'm I'm instantly like disinterested in this whole thing. Like when I see the workhorseman, why am I, is this really the best you could do for Sting's last appearance in Charlotte? You're going to give him these guys and have the nerve to let them get offense in? Poor Sting.
Poor Sting, indeed. And to be honest, he almost looked like he wasn't even happy walking out to the ring, dude. And I don't blame him if he felt that way, but it's true. And this whole show kind of felt kind of like this. But anyway, I saw that and I'm like, why am I supposed to care? Is it because it's just Sting and it's his final match in Charlotte, North Carolina? I mean, what the hell, dude? Like, I just, yeah, I didn't care one bit about this match, dude.
It was ugly.
It was very ugly. Extremely.
And not just, and I just mean, you know, like maybe
what you
JD
mean.
Drake could watch that video that the women that made and maybe take some of that to heart. Like,
oh no.
I don't
Yeah,
want to
put
be
some pants on.
forced to look at JD Drake as an object, you know? I don't want to be forced. I want to have a choice at least in the matter, right?
No. Oh shit. That is, dude. That someone needs to make it. Someone who knows how to do video editing, make that, please. Yeah. No one knows me unless I'm not wearing pants and you see JD Drake.
Or a shirt.
Oh,
or
that is too good.
anything.
Or
It's
shirt.
just
I mean,
gross. Gross.
yeah.
Gross.
And you know what, dude? He was kind of I don't want to say vicious, but you know, he had attitude straight off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But who cares? I mean, no
Yeah,
one
who cares?
cares about him. But
Yep.
yeah, the good guys won.
I don't know if Anthony Henry has a future in this business, but it's not going to be attached to this guy. So, you know, do what you can, kid, is my advice. But
Oh, shit.
yeah. So anyway, unsurprisingly, Sting and Darby do win.
Unsurprising.
And
True.
yeah, and
Big deal.
that's it.
Oh, well, Flair was with him too, mind you.
Yeah, yeah,
Woo.
I said that. Yeah,
Yeah. Big woo.
big woo. No, don't worry, we won't see the last of them. Here's what we got
Definitely
next. Trent versus Eddie Kingston. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Trent won some sort of battle royal or something to get a shot at this, or
Wasn't it
or
2
was
weeks
it like
ago?
yes, something. I don't recall. I know I saw it and was like, but they
He
keep
did.
trying with Trent. And much
Again,
like Anthony
Trent-
Henry, I'm not sure it's ever going to happen.
Trent's one of those guys, again, like we were saying about Sonata, like he's got something, but he just has no personality, dude. Like, he looks like a plain Jane, too. I mean, he really looks like a friend of mine, legitly. Like, you know what I mean? So he's just like every other guy off the street. And once you bring your mother to the ring and shit, and she drops you off in her minivan, that's it, man. You're done.
Well, yeah, I mean that's this sort of like ironic generation of people. Like they're making a joke out of wrestling, so this is what you get. He's part of the wrestling as a joke generation. It's the past
He actually
20
is.
years, right, where they grew up watching, you know, skits and shit like that, and This Is Your Life and whatever, and they think wrestling's a joke, so they just that's how they treat it, and that's what you get. The chat is saying Fatal 4-Way. That's correct. I remember that now. It was a Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, yeah, it was. You're right, yep.
But yeah, like, and Frank Spiegelberg says Trent needs a wig or hair. He looks as bland as Roddy Strong. Well, he did used to have hair, and the reason he shaved is because he's fucking going bald. And he used to actually cover his bald spot with the bandana part,
Yeah.
in the front. So it looked like one of those bandanas with the hair attached, you know? And eventually he just said, fuck it, I'll just shave it. But, you know, trust me, the hair didn't help. I'm just letting you know that right now, Frank. If you don't remember that, the hair didn't help. There's nothing that can be done for Trent. He's just one of those guys that's destined to be like an in king.
Yeah, and you know what's weird about Trent? He's been around for a long time, dude. And I remember when he was part of WWE Developmental, and I've said this probably a few million times, but there was a lot of talk about him as the next sort of guy coming up. You know what I mean? Believe it or not, I actually remember in forums back in like 06, 07, people were talking about this guy like he was like the next big thing. And boy, he wasn't. You know what I mean? I started to kind of like him because of Roppongi. You know what I mean? So Roppongi Vice, that is. And even then, now that I think back on it, it's like, yeah. But he's part of that generation of, you know, like the dick wrestler that I don't even want to mention his name, for example. He's part of that same crew that, like you said.
Yeah. The PWG. Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
It's PWG.
Exactly. It is. You know, that shit on professional wrestling and think, you know, it's like the joke's on them, dude. But whatever. I digress. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's move on.
Yeah. So anyway, Eddie Kingston beats his ass. Go Eddie.
Yeah, he could have won it quicker though, dude. God.
Yeah. They're all buddies. We'll give you a good 10 minutes, whatever. I don't know what it was. I just know that Sue was disappointed that Sue was disappointed in her son once again, you know.
Yeah. Well, can I ask with Kingston? So this championship's called the Continental Belt, right? Whatever.
Continental
Correct?
Crown.
Oh, but it's not even a crown; it's a belt. Give him a crown
It's a
for
belt,
crying out loud.
but it's got a crown
Yeah.
on it.
Oh, I see. Nice. Well, anyway,
That
So
way
this
X-Pac
is-
can't shit in it.
yeah, like you did with Joe the King Lawler's crown. True story. But anyway, like, so this is the Ring of Honor Championship, correct? As well, right?
Yeah, I'm not still sure if like these belts are separate or united.
That's what I want to know. Like, is there still a Ring of Honor World Championship? Like, that's what I
guess
really
so.
want to know.
I guess.
Okay. Because I'm confused still, dude. Is this now becoming the second belt of AEW, or is that the fourth or fifth tier championship at this point?
Good question. You would think it would be the TBS champion, or excuse me, TNT championship would be the second tier.
It feels like the TNT is the second tier belt.
Yeah, but you know, then you've got the international and now this continental, which they're all words for the same thing. Like all three of those things, like world, intercontinental, and continental, all mean the same thing. You know, so
Jeez.
you know, like it's a little silly with the naming of it, but you know, hey,
Wow. T. and Kupina wants to know, does that make Eddie a triple champion? Good question. I think it does,
I
right?
think we have to. I think we have to say that until we're corrected or proven wrong that he is a triple champion right now. So, and originally, like, I believe the All Japan Triple Crown originally came from like 3 different promotions belts that they just consolidated into one when the other 2 promotions maybe went defunct. So maybe if New Japan Strong and Ring of Honor both bite the dust, then this, the Continental Crown will effectively just be one championship. But as far as right now, I think he could defend them individually if he wants.
Oh, really? Interesting. That seems so confusing, but still, nevertheless, like you said, Kingston wins the match.
Yeah, he won the match. All right. And then we get Tony Schiavone is with Statlander and Willow Nightingale and Boots the Lizard, apparently. I don't know. When was that? Is this the debut of Boots?
It's funny.
Debut?
I didn't realize that there was a lizard until Dee pointed that out, right? She goes, look, there's a lizard there. And I'm like, oh, shit, there is too. Yeah, what's up with Boots? I think it is his debut, as far as I know. I mean,
Okay.
Jerome Hall wants to know who. Boots is a lizard, Jerome, as a matter of fact. Kind of looks like an iguana, actually.
Yeah. Chris Statlander has a lizard on her shoulder. You can Google it.
Yeah. Google the lizard, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say now I don't really care about this little particular promo, but did you see on Rampage the when what's his name? I'm sorry. Stokely Hathaway did the intro for Chris Statlander.
Yeah. That was funny.
Oh my
man.
God, that is so funny. Guys, I'm telling you, man, Stokely Hathaway, low-key the funniest person in wrestling right now. It's worth
And they don't
Googling it just for
utilize him.
that.
And they don't utilize him enough, I feel like, Vet, which is odd.
He's in
as
Ring of
well,
Honor
man.
more, I guess, which again, nobody's really watching. But
I guess.
yeah, so apparently he's got this gimmick where he's really trying to manage Chris Statlander for some reason, and she's not having it. But
So dumb.
yeah, maybe he'll win her over. But yeah, he's too funny, dude. He's too funny.
I just hope he's enjoying himself, Vet. Because he left WWE kind of because of reasons like this. He didn't want to be, second tier per se, right? But here he is in AEW or Ring of Honor, whatever the hell he's in, and they're not giving him that respect that I feel he truly deserves. He's a lot better than they give him credit for. And like you said, he actually does turn chicken shit into chicken salad, man. Like, I actually feel like he knows how to make something good that probably sucks in his eyes.
Oh yeah, he's 100% on my a la carte menu. Like 100%. I'm ordering a Stokely Hathaway every time. Stokely Hathaway combo meal. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds delicious.
Yeah, I know. I know Aaron Ben Shlomo saying close Ring of Honor and all this stuff, but damn it, just go watch Stokely Hathaway while it's still around. Go back and comb through clips and find clips and stuff of him on there, because he is definitely a highlight of all of pro wrestling, not just Ring of Honor, not just AEW. So, but he's not here. Like, he could have walked into this promo here with Statlander and Tony Schiavone or whatever, and he didn't. So it's kind of a waste. I'm sure he was probably in the building.
They didn't even acknowledge it either. Which is odd.
Yeah. But speaking of a la carte, we get a Hook vignette where he says he's coming for Samoa Joe. So, that win percentage is going to go down, Jimmy, unfortunately. Very unfortunately.
I love Hook, but damn it, dude. Why are they doing this to him?
I don't know. Maybe it's a Samoa Joe thing. Maybe he's like, hey, let me work the kid. I don't know. Could be.
I hope so. That gives me some confidence, at least, you saying that. But
he needs to look. Hook needs to be in there with guys like Joe. He can't just keep fighting fucking Daddy Magic and Angelo Switchcomb all the time. You have to fight people that know what they're fucking doing. Okay, like, he's not learning anything, so he needs to be in there with guys like Joe. Even it doesn't matter if he takes a loss to Joe, that's no big deal for Hook. It's not a problem, but he needs to be in there for the learning experience. He needs to be in there for that. Because Hook's got everything he needs to be a star, but he just not getting the chance to shine because there's just way too much going on in all these companies and all these shows. So what he needs is the reps, and then maybe one day he will be a top guy. But like I said, you can't just keep fighting 2.0 and expect to get better. It's not going to happen. They don't even know what to do with him. They think they should just kick the shit out of him, and it doesn't work. So,
and that's why he's the vet, ladies and gents.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. Now, see, I could have shat on that, right? And then you just made me realize, you know what? You're right. He needs to actually work with guys that are way above him.
We have to look at these things, Jimmy. Like, we're doing these shows. We have to look at these things as they really are. Not just how the fans would perceive them, or the quote unquote smart fans. We have to look at how these really are. What the real thing is here is Hook's getting opportunity with a guy that can really advance his career. Like, this is an important moment for Hook, right? A learning experience. And that's what we have to enjoy. We can't care about the booking. We can't care about the match star rating. We can't care about that bullshit. We have to care about the future of this kid and his development, right? So,
for sure. No, 100%.
Now, on the other hand, we got Commander and Brian Keith versus the Undisputed Kingdom in a Proving Ground match.
A Proving Ground match? What the hell is a Proving Ground match, player?
A Proving Ground match, Jimmy, is when it's a Ring of Honor thing, and if you can defeat or last 10 minutes with the champion of whatever champion they are, then you get a title shot.
Oh, cool.
So Commander and Brian Keith don't even have to actually win. They just have to last 10 minutes and they can get a title shot. Well, what do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think they did it? If you didn't watch the show, think they made it?
Oh, God. Just like Aaron Ben Shlomo says, boring. Look, this match was just, I felt bad for that little Poncho guy, what's his name again? Keith, what was it? Keith what? Or
Brian
the other
Keith,
way around.
The bounty hunter.
Ryan Keith, the bounty hunter. That's it, man.
Which as I called him, if Stokely Hathaway took wrestling seriously, he was like,
yeah,
Brian Keith.
Dude, when you pointed that out and then I saw the pictures, I'm like, no way, bro. You know what I mean? He really did look like fucking Stokely Hathaway. It's like his twin. You got to Google that shit. It's true, man.
All right, I do want to answer this question because I think I saw TN Couponer ask it a couple of times. Do you think Undisputed Kingdom is a knock on Cody Rhodes? No, because they were already undisputed in NXT, and the Kingdom has been the Kingdom since the forever. 20 teens in ROH.
Right.
So they're just going with that. It has really nothing to do with Cody Rhodes, although it is a nice bonus. It could be like a bonus jab at Cody Rhodes, but they were going to be that regardless, just because Matt Taven and Mike Bennett have been the Kingdom for a long time. So that's why.
A long time. a real long time in Ring of Honor. So no, I never thought that, but it's it's funny though that he thought about that. But yeah, anyway,
yeah. So anyway, this match, I mean, goddamn, this fucking the Kingdom. My God, what more do I have to say? It's the Kingdom. Like, they're the Kingdom, dude. In this match, like, Matt Taven was not the legal guy, and he covered Brian Keith, and then the referee was like, "Hey," the referee started to be like, "Hey, you're not the legal guy," but then he started to count it anyway, and then Mike Bennett came over and like he waved Taven off and made the pin himself, and then the referee counted that. So it's like, what? Like, you get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah, this is
eventually the Kingdom wins, but it was as I was watching the match, I was like, what the fuck are they doing? What are they doing? What is this? And that wouldn't be the last time I'd say that about a tag team match on the show.
Bro, I want to try so hard not to shit on shit for the hell of shitting on it. But man, it's hard when but yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's so hard when you watch this crap and it makes you want to pull your hair. At this point, the whole show, I was losing so much interest in not just this match, and everyone wants me to break some plates. Believe me, I feel like it, but it just takes me away from the show. And this, anyway, I'll talk about it at the end, because really the show as a whole sort of holds a similar sort of path with a lot of these matches. But again, it didn't matter. They didn't care about the other two guys. It was essentially a squash match that went probably a little longer than it should have.
Yeah. Frank says, Bennett, but no Sweet Cheek's wife. Oh, don't worry. She'll be on the show in a completely unrelated capacity.
Oh,
actually.
Dude.
But we're not there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
All
right.
We'll get there.
Backstage with Renee, the Bullet Club Gold, minus Juice Robinson.
This was
and
funny,
the Acclaimed have a little face-off. And for some reason, Anthony Bowens really likes the idea of factions. He says that's the only way to get ahead in AEW, but then he doesn't say anything else. Like, does he mean that they should combine, like, the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold should be a faction? He never actually implies that. I mean, he never says it. The Bullet Club just walks away like, psh. But he doesn't actually even offer an idea. He just says factions are good. So it's like, did you forget what you were supposed to say back here? Or I'm not really.
You probably did. Yeah, but he did recover. So you got to give him credit. But what made me laugh, Vet, is the part where, as the Acclaim came in, Jay White like fully like shitting himself, dude. He just jumps up like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean? It just, I don't know. That was just golden for me. Pun intended. Like, he's
Bullet Club Golden?
Yeah, Bullet Club Golden indeed. I mean, he's just a character, dude. The fact that he literally jumped and got frightened by these guys just makes me laugh. But hey, you know what, man? Can we say that Bowens is the best talker, though, out of the Acclaimed, in a way? I know, like, Max Caster, he's got his raps. But Bowens, man, when he wants to be serious, he can be. He's not as much of a, like, clown as, say, Max Caster is. I think he's a lot better sometimes than we actually give him credit for.
Yeah, I think so. I think he gets overshadowed by the raps a little bit, which he's kind of like, in that sense, he's kind of like the Billy Gunn of the group, because they just let him say one thing. The Acclaimed has arrived,
That's it.
While Max Caster comes out and does the, oh, you didn't know,
Yeah.
So.
You're right. It's spot on. So does that mean a friend of a friend is your enemy now? So these guys are going to combine, and if they do, I don't see it. I still see Bullet Club Gold. Only if TK has got any sort of brain cells would make these guys absolutely turn once they get what they want first out of the Acclaimed, and then they just turn straight away.
I hope Jay White is very vocal about his creative and what he wants to do.
I hope. That's an understatement.
Let's just put it that way.
I hope so too. I hope you're right.
All right. Speaking of vocal about what I want them to do, Edge is in the ring now. Okay. And what he does when he's what I took away from his, rambling promo is that he works hard. That's basically what he says. And he says he wants to, if Christian says he's got to work from the bottom, then he's okay with that. I don't know why he'd be okay with it. So he says he's going to have a Cope Open or something. He said, or call it a Cope Open or something like that, knowing that he took all day to think of that and then act like he's just throwing it away, but whatever. And then Griff Garrison and Cole Carter come out with Maria Kanellis here. This is Maria Kanellis, the wife of the guy, the bald guy with the backwards hat sometimes. Yes. Maria Kanellis is with these guys because over on Ring of Honor, they've been doing a gimmick where she's been, I don't know, trying to get young guys to join her stable, I guess. It's a thing. And then
what am I missing, Vet?
Ring of Honor. You're missing Ring of Honor.
Okay.
This turns into Edge versus Griff Garrison. I know that's not the match you thought you were going to see. But the fact that it lasts more than 0 minutes is a complete insult. He eventually tasked him out with the crossface and then hits a spear on Carter, who tries to come in and jump him too. But yeah, Griff Garrison, guys.
Griff Garrison. Like I said, they should change his name to Biff Garrison at this point. But what's his name? Cole Carter. I mean, did you see his shirt?
Yeah, what was it?
Mothers Love Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, Mothers Love Pro Wrestling. Yeah, with the heart.
What the fuck? With the heart, right. Can I ask, everyone wants to know, why isn't Maria with her husband? I can even answer that one, Vet. I bet she doesn't want to sort of outshine him in a way. I mean, in my opinion, I could see Bennett even thinking that way. Like, please, after being called Michael Kanellis, in WWE, would you want your wife near you? I wouldn't. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Because that kind of ruined his perception and career a little bit, in my opinion.
I don't know, but she's always been a part of that Kingdom thing, and if
that's
she's not there, it just kind of looks weird if they're trying to reunite the Kingdom. It's like it's just like a missing piece, and then immediately everybody's going to ask the same question. Like, everybody's going to ask Aaron's question: why is Maria not with her husband? If you even know who these people are, you're going to ask that. If you don't know,
100%.
It's not like you think these guys are going to be superstars on their own. So either way, I don't know, but there's probably some personal reason, or maybe it's just like, well, we've done all we can do and neither one of us got any more over. So let's try a different thing. Who knows? Did we get to see her cheeks? I don't think so. Did we? Maybe the cameraman swung around once, but I don't, they didn't make an effort. Let's put it that way.
Sorry, Frank.
And
we didn't see your cheeks.
Yeah, and Labrat says, "Did you think he gave Griff way too much?" Which that's why I probably answered that automatically when I said the fact that it lasted more than 0 minutes, right? So
absolutely. The thing about Griff, I like the kid in some ways. I think he's got talent, but man, when he opens his mouth, I do think, you know why? Because he reminds me of an old school 80s wrestler, like a throwback. Just the look. Yeah, I can see how Edge gave the comparison. Yeah, looks wise, definitely he reminds me of Edge when Edge was starting out, right? But they're on a different level when it comes to talent. But Griff's voice feels like it hasn't broken, dude. It's way too high pitched when he talks. You know what I mean? He's got to like somehow deepen his voice.
I don't know how old he is, but he looks 17. So it only matters how old you look. It doesn't matter. He could be 30. If you look like that, you look soft. You look soft and like a baby, And you shouldn't be going like 10 minutes with fucking Edge.
No, right? No way. Especially if you're not going to do anything with him, which they won't. So,
no, they won't.
Yeah, that's
and again, this was the guy that they thought had, like they thought he had more star potential than Brian Pillman Jr. So
yeah,
that just goes to show you,
Let's see how old he is, actually. I wanted to see.
Okay.
Why doesn't it say his age?
There's
no date of birth, bro.
He's never been born. He doesn't exist. Is he Australian?
What the fuck? No, that's a good question. No shit, dude. His wiki has no date of birth. I'll get back to everybody on that one. That's weird.
Don't worry. It's not actually worth researching anything about Griff Garrison. Just know that he might show up on your TV from time to time, and that's a good time to get a snack.
Yeah.
Blair is with Darby and Sting in the back, and Sting says, "You want me to do a retro promo? I'll do a retro." Okay. Is that what they used to call it back in the day?
A retro
Back in
promo.
the 80s when you were on Crockett, did you call it a Today promo?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. So anyway,
man.
Ric Flair sits there while Sting cuts an 80s promo.
A coked up 80s promo, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it was good. It was good. Good 80s promo. I liked it.
It was good.
If you want to
yeah.
see Sting yelling at the camera, that's basically how every World Championship Wrestling show was back then.
It was. Everyone used to scream at the friggin' mic. That's what it was.
Sometimes they would just come to the table in the middle of somebody's match and just start yelling. Tony Schiavone's just sitting there holding a microphone, like,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey, I miss those promos in some ways, Vet. I really do, man.
Well, you got one here, so
We did. Absolutely.
a la carte. Did you order a retro promo today?
No, look, man, you can't hate on this Sting shit, even though it's, it is what it is.
No, I hate the fact that he had to deal with the workhorseman tonight. That part I hated.
That's sad. Unless, like you said earlier about I can't remember what match, but maybe he requested it for
Nobody
I
requests
doubt
the
it.
workhorseman.
That's true.
He doesn't know who they are. First of all, he thinks Sting will watch Ring of Honor one time. Like,
I bet you he's never watched it unless he's not wearing pants, and then he recognizes him. Vet, remember?
yeah, that's right. That's like,
Yeah.
that's JD Drake. Oh shit. Oh well, speaking of which, our next match here, it's Dark Sky versus Kiera Hogan. All right, you could tell when when she was on her entrance, you could just tell she really wanted to stick her tongue out because her face was like twitching, like she was like, because that's her instinct. For some reason, she wants to do the whole.
Yeah, she always does the tongue to the side fucking gimmick, when she's normal.
Yeah, she really wanted to, but it doesn't fit her character now. She can't do it when she's dark. So she's got to like hold that tongue in, but you could see her fighting it. Like that's the part was amusing to me. So yeah, anyway, 5 stars. I don't really think I need to explain why this match gets 5 stars. We all know why. Hey,
remember though, Vet, they're not famous unless they're not wearing pants. And
I know who these ladies are. I know all about them. 5 stars.
Boys. You're already pissing the ladies off with their new sort of, girl power thing. Come on. Surely, Josh, you saw more than
don't be
just
such
booty.
a pig, Tennessee coupon. Come on.
Yeah. Come on, Josh. God damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at all these guys. They're being guys, Vet.
Oh, man.
Really bumping match. God damn it.
Male chauvinists in here. So anyway, 5 stars.
5 stars for the fucking
5-star match. No, well, in all seriousness, let's be serious for a moment, Lance Storm style. Okay, I may not be Canadian, but I am white and bald. So let's Lance Storm style. Let's be serious for a moment. Actually, these had a nice match. It was probably the best match on the show, to be honest. They worked hard. They didn't look like AEW women having a women's match like so many AEW women do. Like I say, it's not the greatest ever, but especially for the spot on the card and for who was working, I thought they did a good job. And I think back to when I first saw Sky Blue back in NWA, and she is literally 100% better than that. Like she's got a full level up, like a full leveling up, 100% better than she was. Now, is that her ultimate potential? No, she could still get better, but she's already made a great deal of improvement because she was so bad when she started.
She was
really
and it wasn't
so bad.
long ago, Vet. It wasn't long ago that she was really bad still. Like
and this match here that they had, this could have been a Raw or SmackDown or one of the WWE Premium Live events, and no one would have complained if they had this match, So very, very good. I will take my if I had a hat, Jimmy, if you could take your hat off for me to both these ladies, then go right ahead. But yeah, I did like the match. I wouldn't really give it a 5 stars, but it definitely gets a solid 2.5 stars if I'm going to use that scale. And I was proud of them. I was proud of them. I watched Kiera Hogan for a long time, been watching her. And Sky Blue, like I said, Dark Sky. She's been leveling up, so good to see. You know, positive improvements. That's all. That's all true. You know, the 5 stars about why this match gets 5 stars. That's a joke, even though it's still true. But you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But in all seriousness, even Kiara Hogan, I think she's even a lot better than AEW give her credit for, to be fair, because I think she's half decent in the ring. Sure, both of these fine ladies are known for their derrieres, if you know what I mean. And but again, they apparently they're not famous when they're wearing pants. I'm just saying, according to them. But yeah, look, you're right. It was probably as weird and dumb as it sounds. It was probably the match of the night in a weird sense. I mean, you can make an argument for the main event, but really even that
I won't.
We'll
get there.
I was gonna say even I wasn't that impressed, but still, some people might say otherwise. But anyway, yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely, man. Sky Blue has improved tenfold. Honestly, in the last 10 weeks, she's improved big time, in my opinion, also.
Yeah, she's changed her look, she's changed her music, she's changed everything, and she's better, you know, at stuff. The only criticism I would give these ladies as far as their match goes is you know, too much obvious thigh slapping still, but other than that, you know, like I can't blame only them for that. Lots of people are doing that. So I would just say, like, if you want to be better and stand out, then just learn to make your shit look good without slapping yourself. You know, then that's how you rise above the middle of the pack. You know.
Also, I think the cameramen, or not the cameramen, the producers or directors, whatever you want to call them, also needed, like, you know, sort of fix their shit up and not catch all those thigh slaps going on. You know what I mean? But
sometimes it's hard. Like,
yeah,
I'm saying that they weren't even being that obvious about it. It's just that you could,
but
you could hear,
you know, right?
Yeah, there's people that are really bad at the thigh slap. These girls actually are hiding it okay, but just the fact that the noise is happening means you know they're doing it. So it's like, you know, you don't have to make that noise for every single piece of contact that you do in the ring, you know.
But that's what they do these days. That's
if you're kicking somebody with shoes on, it's not going to make that sound. It's not going to make a whip crack sound.
No, so, it would be more like a thud sound, if anything, if you were to hit him hard.
Right. So
look, they're still learning anyway, Vet. We've got to give him credit. We have given him credit. But the Comment King says, I'm a cheesecake guy myself, but regular cake works for me too.
Yeah. Well, this counts in both cases.
Yeah.
A cheesecake is a term that refers to women showing skin, and cake is a term that refers to assets. So it actually has a good double meaning here.
Well, apparently Zane thinks that we all want Jell-O. Yeah, could be. Anyway,
jiggle.
Let's jiggle for sure.
All right. Well, let's talk about the opposite of that. Here's hard work personified. Serena Deeb vignette. Okay, I've seen this vignette already on some other show, but
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay, so what'd you think of it?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Like the straitjacket thing?
Yeah, because she probably feels that way in some ways, dude, right now. Like, she's been wanting to get off the leash, dude, and just kick some, like, backside, bro. I think if they do it right, and I'm sure, you know, I hope they do, she should come in and clean house, dude, with this women's division. Give her the damn belt. Has she had a run with the championship? I can't remember. Well, she was TBS champion for a bit, wasn't she?
She was... No, I forget.
Was she world champ?
The chat knows. Chat.
Yeah, chat. Tell us.
I remember she brought the NWA championship in when she was still working for that. I remember that, but I don't remember if she won the AEW championship. She might have.
I've got to look that up. I think she did, but it was a short run. But I can't remember. It was a long time ago either way. But I did love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for this. So, yeah, speaking of not ready, Zane says no. He's doubling up on his no.
That's right.
He knows.
He knows.
Let's see. All right. Now, speaking of Okay, so Claudio takes on Andrew Everett here.
Oh
And then
boy.
there's like they insert a little promo here while he's on his way to the ring. And he says, this is called a two box, where he's referring to the fact that it's a picture and like it's two pictures at the same time on the screen. Actually, it's called a double box in broadcasting, but I guess two box is how they shorten it now to sound cool. Anyway, he challenges Hangman Page in this, and then for the homecoming show coming up.
Whoa,
and then my only
deal.
other question is like, why am I watching Andrew Everett in 2024?
I have no idea. Even I was wondering why the hell was he here. And on top of that, the match coming up, I felt like he got way too much shit in.
Yeah, and he fucked it up.
And
he fucked all of it up.
Did you see that, bro? Did you see that? When Claudio was going for the European uppercut. Oh, dude, I cringed bad. I was like, oh, shit, he fucked it. Fucked it bad. Yeah. Well,
yeah, but even if he didn't, even if he nailed everything, I still don't want to see this guy.
Yeah, neither do I. And I don't want to see him semi-competitive against Claudio Castagnoli, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Well, why did it have to be this?
I have no idea. Again, I think back to Tony, man. Like, I don't know what he's thinking because, again, I won't mention it till the end of the show. But again, it's following a pattern here, dude, up until the main event.
Yeah. Zane says, well, they were in North Carolina and his boys on SmackDown. I know, but like, this is 2024 now. It's over. Look, I don't want to just, okay, look, I sound like an asshole. Forget that. I'm just.
A la carte, vet. Remember.
Yes, exactly. I did not order Andrew Everett in 2024. This is like a spoiled dish. Like you've had it in the back way too long. Okay. We don't serve this anymore. This is not a thing. I hate saying that because I sound like a real asshole. Like he's out there trying, you know, he's trying his ass off. He wants to live his dream, you know? I just don't want to watch it. I don't want to watch him living his dream.
Well, since they were in Kakalaki, vet, I guess he's from Carolina, so that's why they did that. But Zane,
he says as the Impact guy should be rooting for him. Bro, I was assigned to Impact. Okay, you think I'm doing the Impact review show because I like Impact? Jesus, Zane, come on now. You're the master of the ruler of the world. You ought to know these
Not
things.
Not anymore.
I am assigned. This is an assignment. You know.
Look at that. Josh says Bet wants a refund on the cart. The a la carte, the cart part.
Yeah, goddamn. Take this back. Take this back and get a different menu. Yeah.
That's a great one, man. I love that. Josh, that was a great comment, by the way.
All right. So anyway, but even besides that, look, Andrew Everett, live your dream. Chase your dream. Do whatever you can, make that money. I'm just, you know, my comment is more for like Tony and everybody else in charge of hiring and booking and stuff. Like, you know, was Joey Janela too busy?
Yeesh. Joey Janela, please, hell no.
I'm just saying, if you were just flipping through the channels and you saw this, do you think if you knew Joey Janela was, would you not have mistaked Andrew Everett for Joey Janela if you weren't looking closely?
Well, I can see where you're coming from, but although Everett has sort of a better body, I said just. I said just. All right, he's kind of taller. He's kind of taller.
Oh, God. Oh, man. They should be a tag team.
Eesh. What do you call them?
Just the letter Y. So Lexi Nair is with Bill and Starks, not to be confused with Billy Starks, who's also in Ring of Honor, and a lady.
How do you think of that? That's a good one. Shit, you just ruined them for me now.
Oh no, Bill and Starks. They as champions are challenging Jericho and Sammy Guevara to a street fight at Battle of the Belts.
Ooh.
Do you like that? You like the champions making the heel champions making the challenge?
No, I don't like it. But the only thing I do like is the fact that at least we're getting a half decent sort of match on Battle of the Belts, I guess. That's the positive, if you want to call it that. Because usually it's pretty weak. But no, the heel team, and mind you, the champions team, do not friggin' do this shit. Do not fucking make the challenges. What the hell is this shit? They should be avoiding all challenges at all by all costs, but instead they're giving out the challenges. But whatever, cool. I guess they will win though. You know, you'd think, right?
Who, the heels?
Cares? Yeah, the heels.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows what they could do?
Billy Starks. God damn, man. I can't get that out of my head now.
No, girl that sticks her tongue out all the time.
True. She's only 18 though, so you know, we'll give her a pass on that. But actually, speaking of Starks, have you noticed she's been teaching Jade Cargill in a WWE ring? But in Canada, or not in Canada, in the Florida. Starks, you not seen the video footage at all? Oh, he's been teaching Jade Cargill in a WWE ring.
Oh, Ricky Starks. Okay.
Ricky. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Billy Starks. Ricky Starks, right.
I don't know. Billy Starks could maybe show her a thing or two. Yeah, what's up with that? So is this mean that we are taking the belt off of Starks and Big Bill then?
Dude, he's playing a lot. He's teasing a lot with these guys. I kid you not, man. I feel he truly wants to get the hell out. At this point, I mean, come on, man. He turns up at the Rumble last year or the year before with Cody. You know what I mean? He does this now with Jade Cargill. I mean, what more screams out, I don't want to be here, than what he's doing? And he's not hiding it either.
Yeah. Well, it's up to Tony now to either just be petty and keep him or let him go. But
wow. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I could see him going to NXT or something like that, you know?
Oh, for sure.
I can see that. All right, we're here. It's main event time.
Yeah.
House of Black versus FTR.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I watch this and I'm just like, I really am looking at it like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? What kind of a match is this? They're just doing stuff. This isn't a tag team match. This isn't tag team wrestling. This is just guys taking turns doing stuff. I thought FTR was the greatest tag team in the world. This match sucked. It fucking sucked. It was horrible.
And I was worried because I'm thinking, is it just me as I was watching this match? Because I was literally daydreaming at this point.
It's something about the match that makes you want to daydream, isn't it? Like, didn't you start out paying attention and then you're just like, it forces you to like, you're like slowly picking up your phone. Like,
I swear, and I hate doing that, Vet, man. I hate but that's exactly what I was doing.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm scrolling right now. I wanted to watch this match for my review show, but I can't help it.
And it's sad.
Every one of these guys should be ashamed of themselves because they're supposed to all know what they're doing.
That's true. I mean, is it maybe that they're just not they're not motivated? No. They're not getting that out because, dude, if you get your chance for 20 minutes on television, it doesn't matter what you think of the company. It doesn't matter what you think of your angle. It doesn't matter what you think of the other guys. This is your shot. So just you're going to want to do the best that you possibly can. You know, your mood changes. Like everything about wrestling, the wrestling business basically sucks. For you guys that have never been a part of it, some of you have, some of you haven't. But for those of you who haven't, everything about wrestling basically sucks except for that little time that you get to be in the ring having a match in front of people. That part is really fun, and it's where you get to be creative, and it's where you get to express yourself, and it's where, you know, the most fun and the most adrenaline that you'll ever have. It's the time that you're away from the politics. It's the time that you're away from the travel. It's the time that you're away from everything else, and you can only focus on that time. So no matter what's going on in your career and life outside of that, when you're in that ring, that's your shot. So if you have a match this bad, then there's no excuse other than you guys just don't know how to have a match. I don't think that they tried to have a bad match. I think they just don't know how to have a good match. And it should be easy because the story you told, you got clear heels and baby faces here. Mm. So with all the 80s tapes that FTR watches, they should easily know how to do this match. But they didn't. And it showed. I mean, I don't know what anybody else thought about it, but for me,
watching it as a tag team specialist, looking at this match, I'm just like, you guys aren't doing any of this right. It's hard to explain too. Like it would have to, I would have to have like the video up on the screen and break things down spot by spot. I can't recall it all from my memory, but I just know that there was no story, no flow to it. Even if they had no chemistry, they could have laid out a better match than this. Like, I really, I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, you're right, man. And that's the sad part, because I see all these people online, loving this match, dude. But as I was, and that's what I meant earlier when I said maybe you can make the argument for the main event, right? But as I was watching it again, like you said, and I couldn't help but the phone was like a force field. You know what I mean? It was like, yeah, like it was just getting closer and closer, and I'm like, fuck, I should be paying attention to this. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, and again, this is the whole thing with this whole show. Is it just me? But did it feel like every match was kind of the same? Like it was essentially not every single match, but most of the matches was a jobber guy against the named guy, and which is fine. But they all had quite a bit of shit in my opinion, right? For jobbers. All these matches had no progression. People might point out, okay, the Edge match was story, blah, blah, blah. What? The Copeland Open, whatever the freaking hell he called it? The Cope Open? Yeah, like, come on, man. You could tell he's just going off the cuff. He doesn't even know what the hell this shit is. You know what I mean? So I just don't understand. I think AEW should have never brought in another show. Obviously, they don't have the people in the back to do, not only decent storylines, let alone an extra show on top of that. You know what I mean? They just don't know how to. This Collision just feels like a show, a wrestling show. It's just wrestling. It's nothing more, nothing less. You're just watching wrestling. And that's it. They don't expect any sort of...
Even that could be fine, but they're not even doing that right.
Right. That's true too. But it's just a show. I mean, how do you describe this show? And it's sad because this was the show that I was actually liking the most at one point.
Yep. And at one point it was good. And as Todd Brantley said, as he said before, and he'll say again, Collision hasn't been the same since Punk left. Yeah. I mean, obviously that's the case. He also asked, isn't the agent's job to lay out a better match, though? I mean, it depends. If your agent that's assigned to your match is less experienced than you, they're not going to try to tell you what to do in your match. So who is going to agent FTR's tag team match? Like, who's going to do it? So
there's no Arn Anderson anymore.
But even the agents, like, they don't necessarily lay out your whole match for you. They can suggest things, and you're supposed to run stuff by them.
Right. They just the start and finish is essentially what they, do the most.
I mean, the times that I produce matches, I basically ask the guys, I'd say, all right, what are you thinking? And then they would tell me. And if I liked it, I'd say, okay. And if I didn't like it, or if I had a suggestion, I would just say, what about this? This will be easier if you do this. And they say, okay, whatever. But it's a collaborative process. It's not like I just handed them a match. Because I knew they would forget it. And I have a hilarious story about agenting a match with Joey Mercury, which I've told before. I'm not going to tell the story again.
Oh, come on. Share it again. Come on.
No. I don't want to get into this whole thing. This is a long thing. But I've told it before. Maybe somebody remembers when I told it last. But there was another match where these two guys, like I was just backstage. I wasn't even supposed to. I was just hanging out. I had kind of officially retired at that point. But I came by to talk to the guys. And then while I was there, they were laying out a match, and I said, like, hey, they were going over their match. And I was like, no, don't do that. Here, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. Do this. And so I laid out that match for them, and it was only like a 30-second match or something like that. And they liked it way better. So in those times that can happen, but it's really a collaborative process, right? Like,
well, can I ask you a question, since you've got experience with that, right? Is it just suggestion based, basically? So just say, you lay out whatever for the match. If they forget it or they don't agree with it, do they get heat basically if they do their own thing, or what happens there? I'm assuming they get heat, but
part of the process for laying out a match for television is the producer has to be in contact with the truck, basically, so that
okay, I didn't know that.
they're prepared to get shots of the high spots. You know,
Okay,
like
that
if
makes
somebody's going to
sense.
do a
Yeah.
dive to a certain side of the ring, they want to make sure they need to be there to tell them, okay, this dive's coming up, so you need to switch over to camera 2 or whatever it is, to get that. So that's part of it. That's part of the reason that they lay out these matches, even if people wanted to call it in the ring. You know, it's they prefer it not to be, so that they can, you know, correctly get every shot during the broadcast. So that's part of it too. You have to know what's coming up so you can alert the people that are running production on how to shoot it. So
Okay.
that's it. But as far as like the other stuff, yeah, it's suggesting things, or, you know, maybe Tony has a certain thing he wants. So he'll say like, can the finish be this? Cause I'm going in this direction, you know, in the coming weeks. So I want this kind of a finish. So Tony can tell him what the finish he wants, but he's not going to tell him how to have the match. He's going to tell him what he wants because of his story that he's got going. So, you know, there's definitely collaborative processes for a show like Collision. A lot of this stuff, I don't really see the finishes playing into the stories too much. So probably not as much of that, but you know, that is the thing. It's never so cut and dry. There's always like moving parts to all this stuff. So that's why I feel, you know, I'm just grading it as a viewer, like what I'm seeing. I'm not necessarily always blaming people unless it's obvious, right? Like when I say Edge should not have given Griff Garrison that much offense, it's not necessarily that I'm blaming Edge. Like, hey, you, Adam Copeland, should not give this guy offense. I'm saying whoever's idea any of this was. So if it was his idea, then fuck you. Whoever's idea it was, fuck you. I don't care whose it was. I'm not trying to blame anybody, but I'm just saying the product as in general, what I'm seeing, that's what I'm saying. And the same thing with this match here with House of Black and FTR. I wasn't enamored with the build to it. I really didn't like it. And one of the reasons is that I'm not, even before the match started, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this. The reason why, because, okay, House of Black's in a tag team match. So what, you're just going to have a regular wrestling match? Why don't you just use magical powers or turn the lights out? Or like, why are you just having a normal match now? You know, that's the problem when you do that shit. It's like, well, why don't you keep doing it? So what was stopping them from turning the lights out? Brody King couldn't turn the lights out from back there. Like he came out later, right? So just to let everybody know what happened, basically. So Brody King at some point came out like he was going to interfere, and Daniel Garcia hit him with a chair. So he intercepted him, and then that turned into a whole thing. And then at some point, FTR gives Aleister Black a spike pile driver on the apron, which takes him out. But then they beat Buddy with a roll up of some kind. So it's like this heated feud or whatever, where you burned a picture of my family, but I'm gonna roll you up. Okay,
yeah,
great, great
true.
finish, perfect finish, loved it. And then afterwards, House of Black, of course, gets their heat back. They beat the shit out of FTR and Garcia, and Julia comes out and does a 10-bell salute. Very ominously 10-bell salute. Oh, FTR's dead. 10-bell salute. They're dead. Yeah,
They're dead.
Right. And Daxon's family, Mrs. Daxon and little Junior Daxon are at ringside. Like, why would you bring them to this? Like you were upset about a photocopied picture, and you're gonna bring your family into the building with these people. This is besides the match sucking. This is everything around it sucking. Okay, so it's like this is just the absolute shits. It's not even me being mean. I'm just telling you, like, there's no logic to this. There's no realism to this. We can't buy this. We can't suspend our disbelief for this. So really, they just wasted our time for weeks and weeks. So that's that.
Well,
that's the show.
Dax and the Hex has a daughter that he loves. Yeah. You summed it up, bro. I mean, it's exactly what this shit is, and it's sad because these four should know better, as you said. You know what offended me? They actually were using the tag ropes at one stage. Why? I have no idea anymore because apparently it was a normal tag match. I guess they're there for these guys, but even they didn't obey those rules. But it is what it is. But everybody, Media M5 comes up with a funny little comment. Vets new segment, you did what? Fuck you. Or
that would
Vets
just be
new
every
segment,
show.
I blame you.
Just
You
be
know
every
what,
show.
dude? You should have a segment on one of the shows where it's just you, right? Especially on the shows that you're not part of, right? Where it's like, do you remember when Cornette used to do his little skits back in the 90s, dude?
Oh yeah, the little rant.
You know what
thing
I'm
in the
talking
middle
about?
of
Yeah. Where he just shit on the business. And he was right, really, when you think back on it. He was actually right even back then. Something like that, I could so see you doing. I think it would be a hit, dude.
I don't even need to do it. They do it to themselves.
Yeah.
Like everything I would say is just on the program. Everybody could see. Even the fans are seeing it now. See, back in '97 or whenever, when Cornette was doing that shit,
It was 97, spot on.
yeah, they didn't like, the fans probably didn't think about a lot of that stuff. Because when he was saying that back then, and I was like a teenager, I'd listen to him say that, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, Jim
wasn't
Cornette has a
wrong,
point.
bro.
That's an interesting point." Now, when I rehear those Jim Cornette promos, I'm like, "Yeah, duh. Couldn't everybody see that?" Well, no, we couldn't. We just didn't. We didn't have anything, but the fans are too smart now, so they already see everything. I don't even need to make the comments. Everybody on Twitter and everywhere else is doing it for me before I even get to. So, I mean, everybody knows everything now, right? So,
Right. And Zane, I think, comes up with the best name. I'm the opinion haver, and that's my opinion. That's the Cornette thing exactly. It was something along those lines, but not in those words. You know what I mean?
yeah, but I mean, essentially, you guys are getting it. Like every podcast I do is basically like an hour and a half to 2 hour version of what you're describing, because I'm just pointing out in real. That's one of the reasons where, so like the reason I like to break down the show, each segment as it happens in chronological order, is because I want you guys listening to hear how the show sounds to you, so that when somebody makes their entrance for a match and then they have like 3 more promos and different stuff before the second guy makes his entrance for the match, you could hear that. Like, hey, why didn't they just have the entrances back to back? Why did they stick a bunch of stuff in between it? Like, I do it so that you guys can hear the ridiculousness of the formatting. So that's why I make sure to like be thorough and chronicle the thing in order. It's to lay it out so you guys can see it. That's basically it. But I mean, I'm always doing that. I'm always exposing that. It's kind of fun, but it's also kind of sad. It's like,
and that's why I'm always learning off you, dude, because the thing is, even when I think I know, you come up with, and it's simple too. It's not like you have to even think that hard. You just point out the things that we should have seen per se, but we might have missed it. And then you'll point it out, and then it's like, oh yeah, true. Like, how the hell did I not see that until you pointed it out? And that's what makes you great, dude. That's why you're the vet. That's why that's why when people say you were never in the business, right, and you don't get it, now I understand what that really means. Do you know what I mean? Because, a lot of us who think we know would be like, what do they know? Like, why? Because I've never been in the business, I don't know shit. But you know what? When you put shit like that, that's your answer. That's exactly why, and what the difference is between someone that's actually been in the business and someone that actually hasn't been in the business. And it's night and day, really, man.
And that's why
I appreciate. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jimmy. But part of the reason why is like, even I can't fully get mad at the workers themselves, because I think they should know better, and some of them should. But then there's other ones, like, if I'm going at Edge, that's because he fucking ought to know better.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
That's why I go so hard on him lately, because everything he's done has sucked, and it's been embarrassing. It's been embarrassing to him. It's been embarrassing to wrestling in general. It's been embarrassing to the company. It's been embarrassing, period. So I go hard on him because he should know better. Now, some of these people, like, how could they know? Who is there to tell them? Who is there to teach them?
Otherwise,
it's like the Mr. Miyagi thing, where he says, "No such thing, bad student, only bad teacher. Teacher say, student do." You know, so like if these guys if these guys gave their money to take a bunch of bumps and nobody taught them anything, it's not their fault that all they want to do is flips and dives and stuff, because no one told them any different. So like, I don't fully blame them, but I just have to call it out. But for people that have been, look, I'm a Rip Rogers guy. So Rip Rogers taught me how to see wrestling, but Edge fucking been up and down the roads with Rip Rogers. So he has no excuse for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people should know better. So just because I shit on people like Andrew Everett or whatever, like it's just for entertainment purposes. I don't wish the kid any bad.
You're blowing your cover now, Vic.
Yeah.
Come on.
No. It's fine. They all know.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, I just what do I bring to the table as a semi nobody? I give you a perspective that maybe you didn't think of. That's just my goal. I just want you to see things in a different light. And if you come to your own conclusions based on that, that's great. I don't want you to agree with me just for the sake of agreeing. But if you take what I say and you apply that to your own logic and you come up with something different, then that's great. If you arrive at your same conclusion anyway, that's great too. But I just want you to have all the information. You know, that's why I like explaining those details about like what an agent does, like a producer or whatever, like what their responsibilities are. Because I've done that a little bit, not to this level, but some. So I kind of get it. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're not going to hear from those, like, you know, like the Mark podcast. You know, you're not going to hear them understand that shit. You know. You're not going to get that from them.
And I'm guilty of that too. Like I said, and that's why I appreciate you did. I'm not saying this to blow smoke, man. I truly mean that because I learn off of you. I don't learn off of many people. I've always said you and Jargo are my real like teachers to me. You know what I mean? Because I've done the most with you two guys. I mean, of course, I do shit with Chris all the time, right? But that's different. We're on the same pedestal when it comes to professional wrestling, you know what I mean? But you particularly, it blows my mind because, like I said, it's little things that I should have caught, but I don't, you know what I mean? That you will point out, and I'll be like, duh. But that's how, that's how good you are, dude. You put things in layman's for everybody to understand, right? And, as simple as it sounds, it really isn't, you know what I mean? It's not everybody can see what you see. Like, I didn't know you were doing agent work too. I actually didn't know that. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I
make it sound like it was a lot. It was just a few times, but I mean,
it doesn't matter. You've already got experience from that, which I haven't. So you know what the process is. Even if you only done it once, that's irrelevant. You know what I mean? You've seen the process. You know what I'm saying? And you're not called the vet for nothing, man. And it's not like we gave you that name. That's Rip Rogers that gave you that name. You know what I mean? So you're the vet because Rip Rogers called you the vet, man. And that's not a gimmick, dude. You do know what you're talking about. And man, everybody in the chat's giving you your flowers legitly, bro. Everybody, absolutely everybody's giving you the flowers. And I'm not going to say you deserve it. You've earned it, bro. And it's facts. It is what it is. That's what makes that little 5-minute little skit, if you ever do it. I know you hate this, bro. But you've earned it, bro. You know what I mean? And you should fucking be proud of, getting your flowers sometimes, bro. It is what it is.
Well, I appreciate all you guys. That's why I do it. I do it for you guys. You've been unbelievably supportive, and I appreciate all of you. And I know that you're worth explaining things to, and you're worth, you're worth the time, basically. So it would just be nice if we had even more people that are worth the time, because we should be way bigger than we are, That I agree with 100%, man. And if you want, as we do this live, I can put a link. That match I was telling you, like I just walked back there and I saw these two guys going for like a match, and I said, no, just do this. I'll put the link. I'll put the link in the chat right now so you guys could check it out. But this whole thing was my idea. But yeah, so that's it though. That's it for Collision. That's we sifted through the wreckage, and I don't know if there were any survivors. Well, Dark Sky, she survived.
Yeah,
she survived.
That was
Dark Sky and Kira did a good match. Proud of them. But yeah,
the rest of them can all go and get fucked. Basically, I mean, because like you said, they should have known better. I will say though, no, I won't even go there. I was going to say Edge, Adam Copeland, the Coop, whatever you want to call him. He just looks like he's just going with emotions at this point, bro. I don't even know. I don't think they fed him anything. He was just there and he said what he said. You know what I mean? Because why not? You know. But yeah, everybody should know better. But unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, did you post that match? And what would you give this anyway? Well, I mean, we'll sort of let it grade. This is a tricky one, man. I'm leaning between the C and the D, but I got to hear what you give it first because I'm not too sure yet.
I'm thinking a D. It only gets the barely passing grade because of what do you call it? The ladies match. It's a lot of other stuff I just didn't really enjoy. Whether it's for personal reasons or just execution reasons. So I'll say D.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say D too. I could easily give it an F, but I've seen worse. I will say that. It's just, I don't know, man. I just couldn't get into the whole show. You know, I just couldn't. You know what I mean? I really couldn't, and it's sad because I want to, but like we were laughing about before, the phone had this weird power that, you know, it just drawed me to it. So heck, I was even thinking of playing Xbox at one stage. No shit, bro. I was like, fuck. But I watched it. It is what it is. We did sift through the wreckage, and there was a lot of it. So I'll give it a D minus, barely.
Well,
but
I mean, there you go. Did that link not show up? I don't know if it showed up.
Wait, where'd you put it? Actually, I'm trying to. Did you put it in the chat?
It was up there, but it didn't show up as clickable. I don't know. I tried to copy the address, but it didn't.
The power of the phone. It's true, Josh. It's true. That's weird because I don't see the link. But if for whatever reason you guys can't see the link, what I will do is I'll put it in the description of the show, so that way you can just click on it. How's that? I mean, that works, right? So
yeah, that'll be. I'll try one more time and see if that works. Nah,
yeah, because I don't see.
Maybe the links are getting blocked, like because I'm posting a link. Maybe the channel's blocking it.
Are you doing it through here, or are you going to YouTube and doing it?
YouTube. I could just give you the link if you want.
Yeah, send me the link even send it via the Twitter inbox, and then I'll copy and paste it in the chat and see if it comes up there. And tell me if any of you guys can actually see it. So, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a link to YouTube, so it's funny that YouTube will block it, but that's fine.
Oh, who knows anymore, right? I mean,
but yeah, you can just put it in. You can put it in the description. It's fine.
I'm going to put it in the chat, but hopefully it works. Here we go. Let's see. Tell me, chat. There we go. As Hamin, it should be there. It should be on Twitch as well, actually, and it should be under the Hamin Media Group channel, like I said, because when I posted, I came up as HMG. There we go. Thank you, and it's on Twitch too. There you go. Thanks, guys. Well, in saying that, Vet, tell them where they can find you, my friend.
Well, you can find me at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can find me every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern for the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez. And this week we're going to have, from Wrestling with Rip Rogers Lilas Studios, we're going to have Von Lilas on with us, and we're going to talk about some stuff. Yeah, he's going to be coming back on for the first time in a while to hopefully get some good promotion for Wrestling with Rip Rogers channel and just chit chat with us about whatever's going on in the wrestling business. So that's going to be fun.
Awesome.
And don't forget every Monday. So tomorrow, as we record this, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. With Brandon, we do the Impact Attack, and we got another best of show to go through before the actual new content starts next week. But so we'll see what they have to offer for the best of TNA. But even if you guys don't watch TNA / Impact / whatever, if you come in, you can kind of make the show your own. It's a good Ask Us Anything type format. We'll definitely give extra content for the live audience. So come over and take the show over, just like the NWO, and we'll get the recap show bullshit out of the way and move on to fun stuff. Then you got let's see, what else we got. Of course, we got this show. If you're listening to this on audio only, then just know that you could be live with us at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern every Sunday as we sift through the wreckage here. And as I mentioned, Wrestling with Rip Rogers, that's on every Friday with a live Q&A and some excellent guests. They had a nice run of interviews up until this past week when it ended. But before that, they had plenty of good interviews with the likes of Mark Henry, Ace Steel, Stephen P. New. They've had Bobby Fulton. They had, Herb Simmons, legendary promoter Herb Simmons. So many people they've had. I'm forgetting a bunch of them, but you're going to want to check them all out because they were good, except for this past week. Don't worry about that one. But every other one, check those out. They've been killing it. And like I said, Von Lyle's going to join us on Next Level unless something bad happens. So definitely check out Stevie Richards. Now, he's run into some trouble with his wrestling analysis channel because nobody's letting him analyze wrestling anymore. And he's got to figure out a way to work around the copyright blocks and strikes and other things like that. But I don't think he's given up completely yet. So just stay tuned to Stevie Richards, and he's definitely got his fitness videos going on. He just did a video comparing like the price of fast food to groceries because some people out there, some idiots out there, are saying it's cheaper to eat fast food than to cook for yourself.
No,
Can you imagine that?
God.
Can you imagine somebody thinking that? It's like, do people ever just think before they say things? Of course not. They're just trying to stir shit up, right?
Stupid.
But yeah, so a 2-minute video, guest starring his lovely wife. He explains and breaks down how it's not cheaper to eat fast food.
It's definitely not.
So yeah, check out Steve Richards, check out Rip Rogers, check out Hamin Media Group and everything. I've told you where you can find us live if you'd like to join us. So please do.
Well, nicely put. And also, if you want to follow me on the X, you can at DJ Massive X, and you can follow us also at the PWC Network. Speaking of the PWC Network, don't worry for anyone that's wondering why there hasn't been any shows lately. It's because everyone's on vacation these days, and we'll be back hopefully sometime this week, the latest, probably from this Wednesday on. And also, please like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com, where $5 not only do you get the realest but the best talk in all of pro wrestling, and also at HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. And I think that's a wrap, Vet. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the HMG Saturday Night Wreckage right here on channelattitude.com. And we're out. Happy New Year, and thanks to everybody in the chat. And we're out. Peace.